control the line of scrimmage. Be dominant. Communicate up front. Dominate with our size and athleticism. Ain't no time now to worry about what the outcome is. Don't look at the scoreboard. One play at a time. From the first play to the last play. Represent your shit!
Need a horn and a drum roll.
Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches. Coach, 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 coach,
Now it's time to go to work. Season's over. A different time. I told you they remember November. Well, December's our time. December's we do what we do. That's Florida State time. We're back where we belong.
Let's get it on. Need a horn. Break it down.
Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Just change.
I'm going to either win 388 games or I'm going to win 389. Neither one of them throw me over the hump or nothing. Unless something happened to Joe today. Anything happened to Joe today?
Offense, control the line of scrimmage. Be dominant. Communicate up front. Dominate with our size and athleticism. Ain't no time now to worry about what the outcome is. Don't look at the scoreboard. One play at a time. From the first play to the last play.
Need a horn and drum roll.
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Now it's time to go to work. Season's over. A different time. I told you they remember November. But December's our time. December's we do what we do. That's Florida State time. We're back where we belong.
Let's get it on. Need a horn. Break it down.
I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Yo, yo. Here we go. What's good, everybody? My dang. Yeah. Hopefully, I gotta fix these later. My padding came off on my headphones, so I'm fooling with it. And I got this UFC prelims on in the back. John Jones making his comeback, so I'm gonna check that out tonight. See how he looking at heavyweight. But before we do all of that, y'all already know we got a little bit of Florida State football to talk. Just a little bit. And basically, man, we hit up on I won't say most of it. I gave a little bit of takes yesterday in the community. And I post some of the weights and all that good stuff. By the way, we're sponsored by Hennessy tonight. I need to add some more to that. Who I got tonight? I mean, until I see John get beat, I got John. You feel me? It's gonna be good to see him at heavyweight. That's gonna be interesting. But I'm gonna go with John until John loses. It was good to see y'all, man. Saturday night, ain't done a Saturday night show in a minute. So I figured with the weights being released, or the gains, should I say, the gains and the losses being released, let's talk about that. I figured that's something everybody usually enjoys talking about every preseason. And then it is a big recruiting day today, if you're not aware. FSU's got some big time guys on campus this weekend, and I don't know if anybody I don't think it's one of those weekends where you can expect a commit, but FSU just got some big guys on campus that they're going to be trying to get in a 24 class that everybody, I think, has high expectations for the 24 class. But so I thank y'all for hopping in on the open bar. Henny on deck, fight night on deck, Florida State football on deck. I mean, what else do you have to ask for? Seems to me almost like a perfect Saturday. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, let's pay the bills. I didn't even give you a proper intro. So what is going on, Florida State family, Seminole Nation, and the 863 tribe? It is your boy POLK, a.k.a. A-Lo, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. Welcome to Saturday Night Open Bar. Briley in the building. Truth be told. Sporadics, a.k.a. Chris in the building. Rock Jersey. Jeff, Zoe, Zuki, Ray, Fiddy, Matthew Rosen, Tyler Hedden, Brandy Yates, 904 Davis, Rob Castagana, Brandon Brazier, Richard Prite. And if you want to continue to get in that comment section and make this roll call, by all means, please continue to do so. If y'all are watching the prelims, that last fight was a pretty good one. I don't even know who's fighting next. I don't know none of the names of most of these guys, to be honest with you. But that's what's on in the background. What's up, Poke? Do you think it's an FSU Miami battle for Trader? So everybody has, as of early March, Trader, I think, is crystal balled for Miami at this point. I did listen, and I'm gonna just say this, and this isn't me knocking anybody. This is just kind of like my honest opinion here. I don't like how our beat writers, as soon as these kids are done with their visits, shove microphones in their faces. And I don't know if they do that on every campus. I don't feel like they do it on every campus, though. I'm not a Georgia fan, right? So I don't follow Georgia that closely, Bama, Miami, or whatever. The reason I say that is you can't take anything a kid says right after the visit and at any real value. It don't mean anything. So whatever Trader said, and I did listen to it, but whatever he said today, it don't even matter. Do y'all agree with me, or do y'all, and I understand those guys have a job to do, and I understand those interviews are gonna get views and clicks. I completely get it. I'm just saying, as a personal preference, it's these kids, as soon as they get done with their visit, let's shove a microphone in their face and then ask them these questions that it's what do you think he's gonna say? Oh no, the visit sucked. You know what I mean? What real information, right, are you really getting when you do that? I personally don't like that we do that. That's just my preference. For you to answer that question, it's shaping up that way. I feel like it probably is a FSU Miami battle. I think Miami's the favorite at this point. He did say some interesting things, basically saying Florida State just has to keep winning, and he loves the family atmosphere. It's kind of like the same cookie cutter stuff that a lot of kids say. Again, that's why I don't really take much stock into those interviews, but go check it out if you didn't watch it. But again, as of March, I would say, yeah, probably is a Florida State Miami battle. We'll see what happens when games get played, obviously. And Trader being a wide receiver. Yeah, I know if he is a Miami lean, I gotta assume that he's going to be really pay attention to that offense very closely. That's just me. Jamal M. Hold on, can't find my mouse. There it is. Jamal M. Randy's back in the USA. Good to have you back, Randy. Anthony, Marcus, BB. Ain't seen you in a minute, BB. What you think about AR Combine, man? That boy put up a 40-inch vert, which was an NFL record for quarterbacks, by the way. Ran a 4.43, I think, official 4.43, I think it was. AR is all the bit of athlete everybody thought he was. As long as the right team takes him and gives him time to sit and learn, I think he got something. Irv Wallace in the building. Irv says, what's up? Missed you, homie. And I agree with you on the beat writer comment. Thank you. Truth Be Told says, I agree with you 100% about those beat writers. Did you quit the show to Mike and those, quick to shove? Yeah, they're quick to put the mic in their face and then expect any type of like real type of answers, That's just me. And Terrell Thomas in the building. All right, so that's what's going on this weekend. Big recruiting weekend for Florida State. Got some key guys on campus. Tyler says he's lucky being good at football doesn't matter anymore. Who are we talking about? Talking about Trader still? Or are we talking about Richardson? Are you talking about AR? You know what, Tyler, this is what I'll say to Anthony Richardson. And don't get me wrong, during the season, I was like everybody, trolling the hell out of Anthony Richardson because, no, he's not a competent passer by any stretch of the imagination, right? We're not even going to pretend that he is. Has a whole lot to work on there. With that said, in my opinion, let me ask y'all a question. If Anthony Richardson would have played for Petrino or Gus Malzahn, and this is coming from a guy who's really not that high on Gus, but can you see AR playing for one of those two coaches? And you tell me if the same narrative would exist on Anthony Richardson. Point being, Billy Napier screwed the pooch. I don't care what nobody says about Anthony Richardson. In my opinion, too much talent to go to waste. Just go watch the games. They didn't let the man use his God-given ability because they didn't have quarterback depth and they were scared of an injury. Well, here's the catch-22 on that. You were damned if you do and damned if you don't. As you see, they only won 6 games, finished with a losing record at 6-7. If you would have let him play to do what he does best, okay, maybe he does get hurt. But what does it matter? Because when you shackle a guy like that and handcuff him, you're not going to get the bed. You're not, So that's just me. I blame coaching for Anthony Richardson, but that's just my humble opinion. Shout out to Jeff. Jeff coming in with the $5 donation off the bat. Appreciate you, Jeff. No comment, just dropping little gas money, and I appreciate it.
My name is Jeff.
What's up, Born Legacy 22? Tim, did you change your name? What's going on? Timmy in the building. What up, Polk? How much would the media have made a bigger deal with the Deion comment if he was a coach at FSU? Willing to bet media would have smeared the brand. You know what? I purposely have not addressed that Deion comment just because I addressed it on Twitter a little bit. People already think I pick on Deion when I actually like Deion. I mean, my favorite number is 2, in part because I sent Deion, right? There's a time and a place. I'll say this because I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this one. There's a time and a place for everything. And while those comments might not be false, meaning he's not the only coach that thinks that way. I feel like you should know better. Put it like that. I feel like you should know better. You're the coach that's been talking about change and invoking change, but to spew the same rhetoric that everybody acknowledges, all coaches think like this. So to continue that rhetoric, therein lies the problem. But we'll leave that alone. Vontae B in the building. Pat in the building. And then Timmy says, did Norvell waste Jermaine's talent because we went 5-7, and that's a different situation compared to our situation with or Jermaine? Are we comparing Jermaine Johnson to a DN to a quarterback? Timmy, come on now. Timmy, you have to be smarter than this. I'm not sure what you mean. What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? I'm curious. I'm not sure what that means. Not sure what we mean. Two different, and Jermaine had a hell of an impact on the game from that position. But, I mean, we really cannot compare. What's up, T? We really cannot compare Anthony Richardson to Jermaine Johnson. So let's compare apples and apples, not apples and potatoes. Let's do that. Pat says only 19 likes. Come on now. Tell him again. Pay the bills, man. Ring the doorbell before you come in the building. Pay these bills. Subscribe if you're new. Hit my like button. Share the video. Let everybody know we are live on a Saturday night, which we haven't been in a hot minute. Timmy got to be drunk. He's drunk. It's okay. We're not gonna Timmy. They about to drag you. Timmy, they finna drag you, boy. They finna drag you. But let's continue. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into why you're here. Them weights, them losses, them gains, they all came out yesterday. And let's talk. Let's dig in deep. Let's talk about it. Let's get everybody's opinion. First up, quarterbacks. There you see on your screen. I don't think we need to waste too much time with the quarterback position, right? Travis being over 200 pounds is great. Travis was very durable last year. Only missed the second part of the Louisville game. Played every game before and after that. I don't even believe he got hurt in any of the other games going forward or missed any other quarters or anything like that. So that weight on Travis, I think that's a sweet spot. I know some people were like, he needs to be up to 220 plus. No, I think 210 is a sweet spot for him. Keeps his mobility, keeps his speed. He's durable. Nothing there. Rodemaker to me is so interesting. He's so tall and lanky. And every time I see videos of him, I always see how tall and lanky he is. It's interesting that he doesn't put on any weight, which is interesting. Duffy, I don't know how accurate this is because I believe this time last year they were listing Duffy at almost 230. Now all of a sudden they're saying he only weighed 214 last year. I'm almost positive Duffy weighed more at one point. And when I look at Duffy's video, on some videos I've seen, he actually looks slimmer to me. I actually think Duffy's lost weight. According to this, he's gained a pound. But I think Duffy was heavier than that 214, that they're claiming. And then with Brock Glenn, we got nothing to base off of. I was actually a little bit surprised that Brock Glenn was over 200 pounds. So I think it shows that Brock Glenn is a very solid athlete and very well put together. But yeah, see what you guys got to say about quarterback, right? And then we'll move on from that. Jermaine was All-American that 5-7 year. He sure was. Absolutely was. Timmy's high. This season going to be exciting, bro. Can't wait. I'm with you, Pat. We all ready for that. I'm speaking on the talent, not position. Don't start. They don't shoot the messenger, bro. You said it. Don't shoot the messenger. Awful take, Tim. Rodemaker looks more like he does. He looks skinny. You're right. I'm probably surprised that Rodemaker's 196, right? Definitely looks skinny. And then Lewis P says the program weight. Did y'all see Keandre Jones? So we're gonna get there, bro. We're gonna get there, Nick. Don't jump the gun. We still on quarterbacks. Let's go on from quarterbacks, man, and go to running backs. And right here, Toafili in that 190 range. Very interested to see him. They saying he weighed 187 last year, probably closer to 180. But if he's a legit, another thing before we continue with, just another like disclaimer. I don't buy every weight that I see that you're going to see and see here. I don't buy all of them. And it's even factual that FSU has lied about weight gains and losses in the past. I remember, granted, different staff, but I remember FSU listing to Keyshawn Helton at one point at like 220. If you guys remember that a few years ago. Hell, I remember maybe just last year them listing Amari Gaynor at almost 240. Wasn't the case. So take everything you see with a grain of salt. But to continue, Trey Benson, if the 220s for real, I love it. Or I'll say this: I'm interested to see how he moves at that weight, and that's going to be scary for opposing defenses. 220 coming at you, running the way he runs. Everybody's saying he's running with more confidence. He's running more decisive, at least in the tour of duty. We'll see how practice goes, and we'll see what happens in the spring game. But Benson at 220 can be absolutely scary. Rodney Hill, to me, has always been put together well. So it doesn't, 190 is not really that big a deal for me. Campbell at 198. He's a short, compact guy. I'll say this about Campbell. 198 is interesting weight because I always thought he was a little bit heavier than that, just from the way he's built. So that's solid. And then Keziah Holmes, you want to talk about if there's one running back, and Trey Benson is Trey Benson. I'm not taking anything away with Trey Benson. But if there's one thing I took from some of those tour of duty clips that I saw was that guy number 26 and just the way he moved and the burst that he had on the last day of tour of duty where you're going through the grind, you're sucking it up. We saw videos of some other guys really sucking it up. And Keziah Holmes, he looks explosive, man. And that 210 doesn't look 210. So that's a solid weight for him. But he's well put together there. Before we move on to the wide receivers, or actually tight ends will be next. Before we move on to tight ends, let's hit that comment section. See what y'all talking about in the comments. Trey Benson going to be a problem. Nice games from LT. Oregon versus FSU National Championship. Quackhead, how you doing? I think you might be the first time I ever had an Oregon fan in here. Interesting. Benson at 220 fire. Omar looks bigger than Deloach on the tour of duty videos. Well, we'll get to Deloach's weight here. Omar is bigger than Deloach. And you think Campbell has a long-term future? I think we all liked what we saw from Campbell, right? Here's the problem. He's the walk-on. Extremely hard worker. He does have ability. We're not going to pretend he doesn't. We're not going to pretend he does. Here's the problem. Singletary's not even on campus yet. FSU's looking to sign, Cam Davis right now is committed to Florida State. That's 5-star. By some services has him the number 1 overall running back in the 24 class. I don't think anybody has him like out of the top 5 running backs, right? So you're talking about we already have one of the top running backs for next year's class committed. Our freshman guy ain't even got on campus yet. I guess how I tend to go on a little bit of rant, or I don't know if rant's the right word. I tend to draw some of these answers out sometimes. I guess in short, if I was a betting man, I would say no. And that's not a not. I know people are not, we get attached to players. And what do you mean, man? Campbell's da 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 da. No knock on Campbell. Think he's a good kid. Think he's got talent. But if you're telling me you can, and what should be the goal, you continue to recruit over kid, Campbell's got to be the first guy out, in my opinion. But he can prove everybody wrong. I would say he looked lighter. I seen him before I go to class. Who we talking about there, Terrell? Timmy says he thinks so, because if he wasn't, he would have transferred out already. Colorado bragging about their linemen lifting weights when Winston Wright and Dix lift. Well, what we know is Dix is always been a weight room Adonis, a weight room warrior. If Florida State wants to sell the strength and conditioning program, just put Steven Dix on the front of every video, every poster, every graphic, every picture. Just put Steven Dix on there. Can we ever get something that is Steven Dix on the damn field? Well, we'll see. I'm more concerned with Benson's acceleration, decisiveness of running pad level to hit the hole than gaining more weight. Even though he is 190s, I am in 250 or 260. Benson 220, I like it. Colorado don't want the smoke. Winston Wright made that 450 look easy. Robert Scott, weight gain. We'll get the lineman here in a minute. R. Davius. Campbell probably leaves like Ward his last year for more carries. And Island boys in the building. Let's move on to the next position group, and that's the tight ends, man. The tight ends, in my opinion, I think the tight ends had some good gains here, man. I'm interested with the Marcus and Douglas. I thought they would try to get him to lose a little bit more weight, but maybe 270 is the sweet spot for him. I feel like you want a more mobile, more more mobile. I feel like 260s should be the targeted weight for Marcus and Douglas. Yes, Adrian.
Can I touch my iPad?
Mm-hmm. I feel like the 260 should be the targeted weight. I feel like that, but maybe 270 is just kind of how his body's built. So interesting there. Jackson West, I mean, I guess if anybody cares, I'm still shocked that Jackson West is still on this roster, if I'm being 100% honest with you. So, yeah, Brian Courtney getting up to that, close to that 240 range is good for him. Preston Daniel is the same. Jarrell Powers is, I mean, he's one of the most intriguing players in this entire room, for the simple fact he's all of 6'5" and now looking like he's 250. I mean, by the time he gets on the field, how physical is Jarrell Powers really gonna be, right? So that's it. I will circle Jarrell Powers as somebody to watch in the coming years. Of course, Jaheim Bell. And then Morlock putting on 12 pounds. I guess he came into the program 230. They got him up to 242. But Morlock's got the frame. Morlock has a frame where at 6'7", I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Morlock, depending on how long he stays here, man, John looked kind of fat. John Jones looked kind of fat, don't he? I wonder how he's going to move with that weight on him. But anyway, Morlock is going to be up to 250s easy by the time I think he leaves Florida State. What do you guys think? We landing a trader? Who knows? It's March. Why do we still have that many tight ends? I hope that weight gain is real for Morlock. Quick question. Is it better to be big or slim when it comes to playing football, or depends on the position? It definitely depends on the position. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you just asking is like it varies by position, I guess is the basic answer I can give you. Marquise needs to loom 5 to 115 pounds. I think you meant 5 to 15 pounds. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. I feel like the 260 range would really be key for him, but he's at he gained a little weight. One or over 1.5 tight ends, either switch positions or transfer. So the only guy that I could see, Preston Daniels won't transfer in my opinion, because I'm not even sure Preston Daniels is on scholarship yet, and I'm not sure he would have a market if he hit the portal. Jackson West is the only one I would see hitting the portal. If I think the future is Courtney and Powers, and obviously you just brought in Bell and Morlock, and Marcus and Douglas ain't going nowhere unless he has a change of heart or something. I don't know. The only guy I can see really hitting the portal is Jackson West. So I would say under your 1.5. How many years Morlock got? I think Morlock got I think he got 3. I think he's coming in as a sophomore from JUCO. So I think he has 3. I think he's got 3. Does he mean fullback? Who we talking about for fullback, T? Ward is not better than Benson. It's a debate to have. What up, Polk? I'm late, but I'm here. What's up, Seminole Zach? And Terrell, it depends. No one plays corner at 230. No one plays D tackle. Right. It's a question. Like, it's an overall question you're asking, but it just depends, bro, on position. Like, is he a redshirt junior? It does say redshirt junior. Duh. It freaking says it says what he is right there. So there's the answer. I didn't even look. Yeah. So he only has 2 years. He only has 2 years. Let's move to wide receivers. Spent enough time on the tight ends. Let's move to the wide receiver group. Let me take this banner off so y'all can actually see the whole screen. There we go. Winston Wright playing in the 190s. I don't know if that's a product of target weight gain or him just being hurt and he just gained that weight, not being able to, maybe fully. And we'll have a couple of those discussions as we go forward. But I don't mind the 190 for Winston Wright at all. Micah Pittman at 203. That's about what, as you see, no change from Micah. Johnny gained 5 pounds. I don't think that's much. That's much to do about nothing. Deuce Span gained about 4 pounds. Nothing. So you don't really get into any big weight gains until the big thing from the wide receiver room is Hakeem is a man child. It's one of the reasons why I'm normally not that high on freshman receivers. I normally say, give them a year, and then as a redshirt freshman or sophomore, then I start to look for, that's why to me last year was so pivotal for Malik McClain. I thought last year should have been the year that he kind of took a step, and he didn't, and he's, that's why he's no longer here. But there's a reason Hakeem is who Hakeem is. I believe Hakeem is the best wide receiver prospect we've had since who? Like George Camel, Ermon Lane, one of those 5 stars. And I think everybody would say he's probably better than both of those guys, right? Hakeem, I'm telling you, and I know y'all don't want me to say it, but I don't care. Hakeem Williams will be in the mix in this room. I know people, for whatever people are, Mike Norvell put a lot of expectation on Darian Williams this year, because he said this guy has elite level potential. So Mike Norvell done put a target on Darian Williamson back. And hey, let's see if he can live up to it. Portier has shown his flashes. I believe the emergence of Kentron is what made Malik McClain expendable. And then we still want to see what we get out of Deuce. He's supposed to have this elite. He's supposed to be this vertical threat. We waiting to see it. I just think Hakeem, of those three guys I just named, bro, to me, Hakeem, maybe he don't have the top end speed of a Deuce Span, but I think Hakeem brings everything to the table that those three guys who have all been in college for 4 years already as a freshman. I think Hakeem brings that to the table off the bat. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Don't be shocked by the end of the season. You're talking about Hakeem being a mainstay in that rotation, and maybe one of your favorite wide receivers isn't seeing as much playing time. I don't think it much affects his Ja'Kai, Micah, or Winston because they all play a little bit different role. But mainly those guys can be used as your slot and your shifty guys. And then the last big thing I'll take from this. Also, I will mention Vandravius Jacobs, who is my favorite player in the entire class. But I don't expect anything from him year one. As you see, he's small. And I'm pretty sure he's a hard worker, all that. There's no need to rush him with the depth you see here. But the biggest thing I'll take here, man, is Burrell. The reason I bring up Burrell, for one, he's back in the receiver room. Remember, they moved him to running back last year. I actually think the official Florida State website actually has him listed as an athlete. They don't even have him listed as in a position on the official Florida State site. He's an athlete. So I don't know if these numbers do come from 247, by the way, just so you know the source of what you're seeing here. So I don't know if Josh Burrell is legitimately back in the wide receiver room. I've been on record as this guy either needs to go to tight end and let him learn from Jaheim Bell, and maybe he's our Jaheim Bell when Jaheim Bell leaves. Like maybe he can fill that role, Burrell can, or can he play linebacker? Like Burrell is built like a brick house. I just don't know if he's a receiver at this point. He stays hurt, and they wanted him at running back at one point. Now they're moving back receiver. Probably more of your flex guy. We'll see what they do with Burrell. That's kind of the biggest takeaways I got from the receiver room. Let's see what you guys are talking about with that. Josh Burrell, you think he'll get on the field? Jeff, I don't. Not as a receiver, unless he just is. I mean, he has a spring. He has a spring, right? To show it. He's got a spring to prove it. I just don't see where he fits. Mark says, no way Span is 207. Williamson is the beat writer's favorite player. I mean, Mike put that circle on his back. Yeah, and everybody's been talking about Williamson for some time now. We'll see. 215 is a true freshman. Who's taking Pokey's spot? Does Williamson stay healthy to fulfill the stock coaches have had on him? Good questions. I think Winston takes that spot. And if he's as good as Mike and some of these coaches think he is, I'm here for it. I'm ready to see it. Ray says he sees Ray says he sees a lot of Julio and Hakeem. I've heard this comparison a few times, so I would say you're not off base there, Ray. 215 and can move and cut like that. Jesus, I really hope we play Colorado. So Hakeem, man, that's a matchup I would love to see. Especially after this offseason's back and forth between the two. I want Williamson and Douglas to get some more burn. I want Douglas to get all the burn he deserves. All day Dre, gaining that many pounds is great. Johnny, 240 is good weight. So is Johnny wide receiver. He's wide receiver 1. I don't think there's any questions about where Johnny fits in the wide receiver room. Marcus says, what receiver will transfer next? And out of that group, let's go. Let me bring that group back up real quick, because I don't know if any guys hit the portal out of this group. Marcus, because Winston and Mike are in their last years, I would, barring a major setback like an injury or something, I would guess this is Johnny's last year here at Florida State. So you're losing your top. when I say top 3, your top 3 guys on this list, they're gone. So that frees up space in wide receiver room off bat. And again, I don't know why anybody. I don't think anybody needs to transfer. Burrell's the one that I don't know if he transfers, but I think a position change is, again, and take it for what it's worth, I'm not even sure he's officially a receiver. That's just where they got him listed. Tyler says, what do you think Jacob's sweet spot is for weight? That's a great question. Not sure. He's not an inherently big dude. I can see Jacobs not needing, maybe throw 10 pounds on him. 185-ish, but I think might be his sweet spot. And that's before I really got good eyes on him to see his frame, see how he moves at the college level, right? I just say, he's at 175 like they claim. You can get 185. He's not a big receiver, so I don't think you need to try to get 200 pounds on him. You know what I'm saying? And then you also asked, does Deuce get any burn? Great question. Again, he's supposed to have this speed. If Deuce has the speed that we keep hearing, who else brings that skill set? Out of these receivers, no one else brings that vertical threat. I don't know how. I said this last year, and I'll stick to it. I'll stick to it this year. I don't see how you don't just draw up 3 or 4 plays for Deuce span a game. Just set it up, and then, all right, man, we're going to throw you in here. You're doing a go route. If he's got that speed that they claim, we need to see it on display. We need to see it. And we haven't seen it yet. Let's move to the O-line, which everybody has been so eager to talk about. Dimitri Emmanuel being listed. Mike Norvell has denied to make any comments on waivers. So nothing is still official with Dimitri. But I think them listing him here, if you check the videos, he's working out with the team. He's in the locker rooms. He's doing everything like he's still a part of this team. I'm willing to bet that he plays, that he gets his waiver, and he's going to play. And I said it before, that is huge for this offensive line. It completely changes my outlook on the O-line, which I already thought was going to be a good unit. But remember, I thought Armella or somebody would challenge for that right tackle spot. Now, I think what they do is they throw Byers outside at that tackle spot. Ultimately, man, if that's not the case, somebody's not going to get the start that we fully expect to start. And a lot of us, when you look at the transfer guys they brought in, it's hard to see how any one of those. I don't see how any of those guys get left off the field. So I don't know if and then you can't. I don't know. How do you argue that Dimitri? What did Dimitri? Didn't Dimitri Emmanuel finish second team All ACC last year? So then how do you argue that he doesn't play or get the nod? It's just a great problem to have. But let's get down to these weights. Enough of that. Bless Harris. This is the one where I'm concerned because I think that weight gain is not by design. I think that 308, 310 range that he was last year is where they want him. I think this 325 weight is the fact that you had a guy, I believe he had a shoulder surgery or elbow, something up in this area. I know you guys can't see me, or you can see me a little bit. I think he gained the weight from not being able to maybe do all the workouts. I don't know if I like Bless at 325 personally. The same, and that's consistent with me. It's the same thing I said about Robert Scott last year. When we saw he was up to 330, whatever it was, I was like, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that type of weight gain. I'm glad he lost 30 pounds. We'll get to Robert Scott in a minute. So we'll see what happens with Bless. Darius stays consistent at 300. Maurice Molicious, as Micah Pittman calls him. Does anybody believe he was 288 last year? Because there's no damn way I believe he's 295 this year. And that ain't even a knock on Mo. Because one of the things I love about Mo, and one of the things I love about Alex Atkins even acknowledged this in an interview I watched yesterday. where he said every year he's been here, he's brought somebody in here to take Mo's job. And every year Mo has beat that guy out. So even Alex Atkins acknowledges what we all have noticed and acknowledged with that center position. And Maurice doesn't complain. He don't hit the portal. He don't get on social media and go back and forth. He just come out every offseason and win the center job. So whether he's 295 or 280, I really don't even care at this point. I expect Maurice Smith. Ultimately, I think Roddick gets the job. But we say this every year. But I know Mo's going to come out there and he's going to compete with the best of them. I know that for a fact. Shout out to Mo, man. Schrader at 302. I think, a guy like Schrader could be one of those guys. When you look at this list, you talk about someone hitting the portal. Schrader and Herring, who's up to 315. Those could be two guys that you can maybe see on the outside looking in. Robert Scott, I love the fact that he's down to 304, man. I was not a fan of that man being 334 last year. I think that is one of the reasons why he got hurt and consistently was in and out and banged up. Where Darius had got a lot of playing time at tackle and all of that. I think he just had too much weight on him. 304, I think, is a great weight for Robert Scott personally. Mobile, he's able to, just able to move better, less weight on the joints. Personally, I like it. Get up to 334, lose that weight to 304, but I'm sure he kept his strength. I expect a big season from Robert Scott. Estes. That 2 pounds, it ain't nothing but water weight. So I would say no big change between Bryce and Estes. I'm interested to see where he fits, though, on this O-line. Is he in the center group? Is he a guard? I don't know where Estes fits. I know he's one of the stronger players on the team. Dontre Richardson, I love that he's gotten up 300 pounds. And if you go watch the tape, it's a tour of duty clip where the three are Armella, Simmons, and Dontre Richardson. And all three of them gassed. I think Armella probably looked the most vibrant of the three. But Simmons and Dontre Richardson, they were sucking wind. Them boys were tired. Dontre Richardson getting used to having 300-pound weight on him. But that's good for him. He needed to gain the weight. Love to see that Kanile Charlton continues to lose weight. You're talking about a guy who came into college at 350, now down to 335. Love it, love it, love it. Quayshawn Sapp also losing weight. Love it, love it, love it. Armella gaining weight. We found out in the interviews that Armella actually had a surgery, ankle, something in the lower body, which might mean the same for Armella. He's playing heavier than maybe he should be, and needs to probably get back down to that 314 range. So that would make sense why he was so gassed in that video that you saw. And with him working his way back from injury, it all makes sense there. Early, love to see it. Again, another guy losing weight. Armella and Early, man, I look so forward to seeing those guys in the future, man. Casey, he's the same. Keandre, the same. Talk about a beast in the weight room. Go watch Keandre Jones squat. Byers getting up to 330. Byers gaining almost 20 pounds, man. I don't really know what to make of this one because I don't have anything to go off other than UTEP stuff. Byers is the one anomaly where maybe the weight gain's good for him. I can't make much out of Byers because he didn't play here last year, and I haven't seen him with the weight and how he moves and all of that. And then where do they want him? Is he the right tackle? Is he the guard? We'll see what they do with Byers. I'll reserve judgment on Jeremiah Byers. I don't know if 329, 330 is great, but I don't know if it's bad either. And then Lucas Simmons continues to look like a 6'8", guy that weighs 270, not 309. Future bright for Lucas. Let's get to the comment section. I think I've gone on and on and on. So let's get to the comment section. Let me scroll back up, make sure I don't miss any comments. Let's see where we left off. Start here. This is the first offensive line comment I saw, so we'll start with this one. Let me take this off the screen. Does Armella crack the starting five this year? I don't think so. I do not think so. What up, Peter? Torn bicep. Okay, I knew he had an injury. If we're talking about Armello or Bless. Both of those guys had injuries. I'm not sure. I think Bless had the shoulder, but again, I don't remember the exact injuries, but I know both of those guys were hurt. Byers gaining that much so fast is crazy. No way he looks 270, 275-ish. I see Pittman basically a returner, be a wide receiver. We're talking about wide receivers again. Armella should get some starts or at least significant playing time. Looking at his O-line depth makes me want to cry. We've been through it, man. But we here. We here now. We're here now. The Bellows and the Juwan, those days are long gone. We're here now. We're good. We're here. Byers and Emmanuel are the only sure starters to me. Really? You don't think Robert Scott's a sure starter, Ardavius? The guy's been the starter at left tackle since day one. You don't think Robert Scott's a sure starter? Wow. Robert Scott at 309. Nobody's going to take his job left tackle. I agree with that. Our players are tired. Fire the staff. I think Florida State got the best offensive line in the ACC. I'm right there with you, big dog. Our starters will be Byers, Emmanuel, Roddick, not sure, and then Scott. Byers look good, and okay. I think Bless Harris moves inside. If Bless moves inside, then I don't see where he gets any playing time. Bless's best bet. Bless Harris's best bet is right tackle. And then No Power thinks it's a breakout year for Bless. Is Quayshawn a future center? I think that's where he's listed at. Not 100% sure. Briley, what's going on? So right now we're on O-line. So you miss quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver. I see three guys who need to hit the portal: Schrader, Herring, and Estes. I like Estes, though it wouldn't shock me if you're right, though, to be honest with you. But I like Estes personally. Those other two can't stay held. But Estes, I like him. The thing about Estes is he might never be anything more than a depth piece, but you need those depth pieces. So we'll see if Estes, some guys are comfortable being, those depth pieces. Let's transition to so we just covered the entire offense. So before we go to defense, y'all, any last takes or thoughts y'all got on offense in terms of who's gonna play where? People's that good point from Tyler. He could end up being your swing. He could end up filling the role that Darius fills, where Darius isn't a starter for us, but you can make a case that Darius has been the most important offensive lineman in the last few years for us because he can literally play anywhere and gives you he's just a valuable piece. Estes could be that guy. Estes could absolutely be that guy. Great point by Tyler. And like I was saying before Tyler made such a great point, any more takes like that or points y'all want to make on the O-line, running backs, receivers, whatever, before we move to the defensive side of the ball? I'll give y'all a minute while I sip my cognac. Just giving you a quick minute. Plus, I'm doing something here, so hit the comment section, y'all. All right. Estes is the strongest man on team. He's one of. Absolutely. And move like he moving in quicksand. He would never play for FSU. Okay. How do we feel about Winston playing the slot? I'm for it. And who starts in the slot, Micah or Winston? I think Micah gets the nod. I think Winston takes opposite of Johnny. I think Winston's number 2 and Micah's in the slot to start the season. That might not end up that way, but to start the season, I think that's what it is. Momo, what's going on? And then, 200 yards a game is happening again this year. Yeah, absolutely, Anthony. Got a big-time O-line for sure. All right, man. Let's move on to defensive line or defense in general, and we'll start with them. Everybody's favorite position, them DNs. Start with them DNs. Wait, Peter says let's not run off O-line yet. Don't forget where the line was 2 years ago. And Vontae thinks Rodney Hill will be running back 2 by the end of the season. Getting these last offensive takes off, guys, and then does Pittman take a punt at the house or Span get a 50-yard TD? Great question from Philly. Hold on, let me take this off before we here. Let's do that before we get into DNs, because I actually like this question. I'm gonna frame it a little bit different, Philly. I'm gonna frame it a little bit different, but I like this. So the way I'm gonna frame this, what comes first? Pittman takes a punt to the house or Span get a 50-yard touchdown? Answer that question in the chat. What comes first? Pittman takes a punt to the house or Span gets a 50-yarder? I'll let y'all answer, then I'll answer. So we'll come back to that one because I got to get Chris Robinson from Orlando on the check-in, so I already know what's up. He said, let's get the donos up, people. Shout out to my man Chris from Orlando in the building. My guy.
I'm in Tallahassee, I'm with the Seminoles. I've been getting to this paper, focus on my goals. Trying to run this money up and pull up in a row. All this talking gangster, that shit getting old.
Told y'all about that, boy. I don't see Pittman housing a punt. Span. Don't sleep on Holmes at running back. Absolutely not. Span. I don't think Pittman will be on return. Who do you think will be on return, Momo? I think Pittman will be on return. So I definitely think Pittman will be on return. But I agree with the majority of the chat. I don't think Pittman takes one to the house. I think it's more likely Span over the top. And that's not a knock on Pittman because at least he's fielding punts. I don't know. Pittman didn't muff one punt last year, so that's but I don't see Pittman taking one. And Briley agrees. 904 says Pittman, so shout out to 904. And then Peter with the $5 super sticker. No comment, but appreciate you, Peter, with the super sticker.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
Fan. Chris said we have Michael Alfred coming on the show 15th. What questions? Oh, look at this. Look at this guy. Look at big time right here. Getting that. My favorite athletic director on the show. That's dope. I can't think of any off the top sporadics, but I'll definitely text you some questions. That's awesome. You said on the 15th. I'll make sure I tune into that one. Yeah, I'll make sure y'all tune into that one. Talk about sporadics in here. Big time YouTuber now. Don't forget about those little folks. No, I'm just playing. Shout out to sporadics and shout out that you getting those big time guests on your platform. And I forgot. You guys are right. I forgot about Wright. You're absolutely right, Momo. I forgot all about that Winston Wright Fields punt and stuff. But maybe you don't want to put so much on Wright's plate. So here's what I think. I think Winston Wright and Trey Benson will do kickoffs, and this is just me, and I could be wrong. And then you just keep Pittman on punt returns. I don't think you ask too much of Winston Wright. I could be wrong there, though. Could be wrong. But I forgot all about Winston Wright returning kicks. My wife had me washing dishes. better wash them dishes, boy. Did our tight end room go from tight end worst to top room on offense? I won't say it's top room. Matter of fact, no, it's not the top room. But that doesn't mean it's not a great room. But no, it's not the top room. Is the tight end room better than that receiver room? We can have a debate. Is it better than that running back room? We can have a debate. Is it better than, I think the O-line is the best room on the offense. Personally, I think it's the O-line. Tight end room ain't better than that. Hell, is tight end room better than the quarterback room? That doesn't mean the tight end room didn't make a huge come up this offseason, but I still can't go that far. want to see Douglas getting the reps Pittman got last season. Absolutely. I'm with you there. But, I've been saying that about Douglas all the time. And Captain Noel, appreciate you, brother, with the $10, $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Captain Noel. Let's get that P-dub.
Get more money. Get more money. Yeah.
Pittman on return is basically us playing defense because he doesn't fumble the balls. If Wright is taking some of Pittman snaps on offense, this staff won't take punt return from Pittman too. I agree. And that's what I was getting at, Briley. If you're telling me that Wright becomes like that second receiver, there's no way they take. I don't think that they take that from Pittman. I don't think that. Man, y'all killing on offense. You ain't even started defense yet because y'all killing the offensive comments. O-line, the best room. I agree, Chris. I wholeheartedly agree. That's what I think too. And Jeff with the $10 says we have lots of options in our offense. Offense is looking stacked. Offense is looking stacked.
My name is Jeff.
And thank you for the donation, Jeff. Wide receiver room is the best room. It's going to be nasty. I think it's the O-line, but I can't argue that. I can't argue with wide receiver room. Can't decide what the worst room is. Exactly. It's hard to tell who the worst room is. And again, it might still be the tight end room. But that's not a bad thing this time. This time it's not a bad thing. But by definition, tight end might still be the worst room on offense. I'm with you on this one, Zoe. They keep saying Williamson is the wild guy. Well, I want to see it before I say we need to put him on kick return or something. I want to see it first. I don't think Benson will be returning kicks this year. I think Rodney will be back there. That's fair. They might take Benson off that, though he was pretty damn good at it. So I don't know. I think it better to have Pittman for punt return and kick return. Remember, Wright need easy back end. And Johnny, Pittman, Wright, Portier, Williamson, Douglas, Keem. Wilson, Pittman, and Williams would be the big three. Hope Duffy is QB2. D-line room is the best room on D, only if you separate by DN is the deepest. And I would say tight end just because Jaheim isn't a tight end, really. Good point. And I think he will line up. I think Jaheim's going to line up everywhere. So I'm with you there. Okay, man, enough offense, man. Y'all killed it on the offense, but that's because we got a lot of stuff to talk about on that offense. Let's go to the side of the ball that maybe some people – well, I'll take it. I don't think people don't have – for whatever reason, people don't like our coordinator. But I think people have faith in the talent that we have on the defensive side of the ball. But our people don't have faith that our coordinator can utilize it. Even if I don't think it's a fair criticism, fullback is the weakest. Hey, don't talk about Lundy like that, Momo. But let's do it, man. Let's enough on the offense. 69 people in here, man. Hit that like button. Where are my likes at? I ain't even look and check my likes. I'd be real lackadaisical on the likes nowadays. There was a time where I wouldn't even continue a show if I didn't have a certain amount of likes based on the amount of people I had in here. See, so like right now I got 69 people and 49 likes. That means 20 of y'all just sitting in here just looking at me and not even supporting. And I have a problem with that. But I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. I just want to bring it to your attention. I'll just say that. But anyway, let's get to this defensive end room. Verse gains about, 5 pounds up to 250s. I think 250 is a good weight for Verse. 248 is not a bad weight. Verse getting a little bit bulkier is help him out with the injuries as well. Definitely not a bad thing for Jared Verse. McClendon gaining about 10 pounds is interesting to me. And what I think that says to D-Mac, what I think that says is maybe they're going to use D-Mac in a different way. Maybe more of don't expect him to try to get to the passer. Use D-Mac and maybe Edmund as and the fact that they say D-Mac is bigger than Edmund, I don't know, man. I got to see that. But maybe they want to get him out there and set the edge and contain on the edge. Pat, so this is one of those weights where I don't believe. Pat was not 248 last year, y'all. I'm not here to call anybody a liar, but if you watch Patrick Payton last year and you thought he was 248, Pat probably played at 240. He damn sure wasn't 250. what I've seen about Pat that I like, that I've seen, is I don't think he looks heavier, but he looks more defined. And so for me, I think people, and I've seen some people, I see some people not hesitate, sorry, criticize Patrick Payton not weighing 250 or whatever. Look, this is my personal opinion. And I've said this same thing about LTs, and I said this about not everybody. First of all, let's put it like this. Weight gain does not mean you just got stronger. It just means you got bigger. Weight gain does not equal strength. Let's talk about how his body looks. Pause. Let's talk about how his body composition looks. Does he look more cut, bulkier? You can gain muscle and not gain weight. Hell, you can gain muscle and lose weight. So I don't have an issue with Pat's weight at all. I think Pat is fine. Hell, Brian Burns, to me, still don't look like he weighed 250. I think that's what he's listening to NFL. Brian Burns has always looked small, and it doesn't matter. I think Pat has that similar body type. Same thing I used to say about Toafili, similar body type. Similar body type. I think we have to stop equating weight with strength and meaning that that we, just because a guy's heavier, he was getting it in the weight room, or so that doesn't always mean that. It doesn't always mean that. I think Pat is one of those guys. Byron Turner, not gaining any or losing any weight. This is a make or break year for Byron. We've said that. I've been saying that pretty much all off season. If you've been watching, this is a make or break off season for Byron. This spring is extremely crucial for Byron Turner. If he can't get somehow in this rotation, you can circle him, in my opinion, as a guy who might hit the portal. I'm going to come back to Aaron Hester because I got a lot to say there. Dante Anderson being from 233 to 250, now that's insane. That is crazy. This is a guy that watch this offseason. Watch Dante Anderson walk on, 4-star walk on, believe it or not. That's a guy to keep an eye on. Is that a good 20 pounds, or was he lazy this offseason? From what I hear, it's a good 20 pounds. I'm ready to see how that looks. Of course, Edmund, nothing there. We expect Edmund to be, hell, some people think Edmund might actually start opposite of Jared Verse. Apparently, he's impressed that much so far with being on campus. So we'll see. We'll definitely see there. Then Lamont, we know Lamont came in small. You can pretty much put the red shirt next to Lamont's name because I don't expect Lamont doesn't need to be a factor this year. And then Jaden Jones is another guy that probably won't be a factor this year with him coming off of a knee injury and just the depth that's in front of him. He'll get a full year of recovery or whatever, and expect his red shirt's junior year to be a year to look for Jaden Jones. Now I want to circle back to Aaron Hester because I skipped over him for a reason. I like Aaron Hester. I want to preface my comments by saying that I like Aaron Hester. I've been a fan of Aaron Hester. I've talked to Aaron Hester personally. But if he's really 220, okay, I'm trying to say this the best way I can. Look at the guys and look at the bodies they're recruiting at defensive end versus what, 6'4", 6'5". Derek is about 6'4", Pat 6'5". Gilbert 6'5", Jaden Jones is 6'6", I think. Dante Anderson 6'4". I think Byron Turner 6. Aaron Hester is like 6'2", 6'3", and now you're talking about only being 220 pounds, 227, 230. If we'll just round it up to 230. So either this is by design, and maybe they're moving Aaron Hester to backer, which I would be interested to see. But if not, I don't see a future for Aaron Hester, bro. And I hate to say that because he's a legacy kid too. I think his dad played at Florida State. But man, 227, he's by far the smallest guy. I mean, there's Lamont Green, but again, Lamont Green's fresh out of high school. Hester been here. You know what I'm saying? Hester been here for a whole year, and I'm just kind of worried there. But we'll see. Maybe it's by design, and maybe they're going to move him to backer, which I would love to see it. Move him to backer, thumbs up by me. That's a plus. But if we're talking about keeping that man at defensive end, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's get to y'all comments, and then we'll move on with the to the D tackle room. That's right. Hit it. So I ain't got to cry about it. I see we got it to 58 likes all of a sudden. So somebody was listening. I agree with Polk. D-Mac has to be a run package only. It's easier for wide receiver to take 50. Okay, we're not talking about offense no more, Truth. Timmy agrees. Momo agrees on Burns. Boots weight gain caught my attention. Was Jaden Jones in any of the Tour of Duty videos? How's he moving post-injury? My guess is they're probably easing him back in there. I didn't personally see him. That doesn't mean he didn't do some of the Tour of Duty videos, but my guess is also he probably was light work. Winston Wright run. Okay, no. Truth, no. Stop. We're on defense. Byron might be a goner. I don't think Dante could pack on much more weight. Or I didn't think that. Jones looked good when I saw him. He is tall. I'm going to say this too. Bro, if you really want to get an inside look at some of these guys, how big or small they really are, I'm telling you, go watch Micah Pittman's vlogs on YouTube, Jaden Floyd's vlogs. If for nothing else, maybe you're not entertained by just watching them move, and I get it. But fast forward to the locker room moments where you get to see some of these guys and how big or small they really are compared. Jaden is extremely long, but he is skinny. He is skinny from what I've seen. So I've watched those guys and seen them in the locker room setting. That's how I kind of have like a picture of how they're built. Who do you think would be the defensive lineman on 4th and inches? At end? They might do that 5 down lineman like Adam Fuller was mentioning. I think we see Hester move to linebacker this spring. We could really use the depth. That is his only chance. I might as well see what Shannon can do with him at that weight. A 240 plus is a lot to put on a 6'2 frame. I don't disagree with you, Briley. Maybe he's his ceiling and moving him more a necessity than convenience. How's Fisk? I know he was still rehabbing his injury as well. But we're about to get the D tackles here in a minute. Defensive ends need to at least bench 405 on this level. If not, move on. Love Pittman's vlog. Got done. Yeah. I watch their stuff all the time. It's good stuff. I mean, it gives you a little bit of insight, if for nothing else, their day-to-days. So pretty good stuff. They might go bare front on 4th and short. That's what Adam Fuller was talking about this offseason. That is what he was talking about. So they might definitely do that. That's where I get most of my intel on, by watching Pittman and Floyd vlogs. They got the best insight. Pretty much, they got the best inside access by far. Absolutely. Let's move to defensive line, though, or defensive tackle. Here we see Faye Bowden gained about 10 pounds. I'm interested to see if that's by design, but we also know Faye both suffered dealt with a lot of nagging injuries. For a guy that dealt with a lot of nagging injuries, I don't know if that's by design or that's, he's still going through the offseason process. But Fabo holds his weight. Fabo, to me, has always held his weight extremely well. Fabo is like 230, but again, you go watch these videos, no gut. So Fabo has always held his weight extremely well. So I'm not too worried about the 328. Briggs only gains 4 pounds, but we know he's moving back inside. I'm iffy on Briggs. Briggs has gone from being a guy who I thought was maybe the most important player on defense last year. If you guys remember, I had a lot of high hopes for Briggs. playing opposite of Verse, and it didn't quite work out that way. I do think he's more of a natural on the inside. The problem, or I don't know if it's a problem, but the thing about it is not so much Briggs, but it's everybody up under Briggs that might be pushing Briggs out of that mix. So we'll see. Briggs could prove me wrong here, but it would not shock me if Joshua Farmer, who we're going to get to in a minute, is taking Briggs' spot. Malcolm Ray up to 290. I'm actually sometimes I'm shocked Malcolm Ray's still on this team. Shout out to Malcolm Ray. He's a guy that I never see in the videos, by the way. A shout out to Malcolm Ray. I'm interested to see what he does. Farmer's the guy that, from the Tour of Duty videos I saw from him, chopping it up. The fact that he's 3'11". I got to see Joshua Farmer in person at the bowl game. He's not the tallest, but he's built like Joshua Farmer. To me, is built like Derek. I'm not saying he's Derek Nottie, but he's built like that, in my opinion. Farmer could be the guy that really breaks out in his in his sophomore season this year. Farmer could be the guy that really breaks out. Lions getting up to almost 300 is great. Bishop Thomas over 300, awesome. Tafasi looks like he maybe lost a couple pounds, but no worries there, in my opinion. I don't think you see much Tafasi. Woody, y'all know Woody's my guy. Big future on Woody. Up over 300 is great. I still don't think Woody or Tafasi gets much playing time this season. Then Fisk and Jackson is huge. Jackson, I think out of all the guys here, I was the first numbers that just jumped off was Farmer and Daryl Jackson being 330. Daryl Jackson is almost bigger than Fabian Lovett. And unlike Fabian Lovett, you're talking about a 6'6" Daryl Jackson. Yeah, I think, you talk about deep interior. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys under 300 pounds, right? 1, 2, 3, 5 guys under. Damn it, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. 4 guys under 300 pounds. I love just the different. We got big guys, small, speedy guys, tall guy, like a lot of different skill sets in this defensive line room. What do y'all think? A lot of different skill sets. A lot deeper than it was last year. A lot deeper. You think we lose a D tackle? If we lose a guy, I think it's Malcolm. That's just me, though. Nope, he still isn't that big. Farmer and Jackson are monsters. Yeah, they are. They're big guys. Fisk isn't a little guy either. He could run some 3-4 with that size. We have like 5-tech type body types. We certainly do. Do you think we see Fisk off the edge? Did he play a lot of edge at Western Michigan? That would be my question. I watched a couple of his stuff at Western Michigan. They might try it out. From listening to Fuller, they are going to mix the fronts up more so this year. So that might be one. That might be like a key or a clue. Do you think Fabian Lovett gained too much weight? We'll find out. Again, Lovett holds his weight well, so it's hard to tell. We're definitely at least 5. Yeah, I don't know how he's only a sophomore either. Guy's been here, since Taggart was here, I think. Tafasi, a lot of people have said that about him, that he kind of has seemed, you say restless. I've heard a little disengaged at times. I don't know. We'll see. Odell talked about him needing to be more consistent. So we'll see. Leon says he doesn't think we see Ray again. Wow. Fish needs to stay at D tackle. I don't think he's asking do they move him to DN. I just think he's asking do they flex him out there every now and then. But yeah, Fisk is a D tackle for sure. And see, Leon says he'll play some edge for sure. He could easily start there. I'm excited to see what Woody does in the spring. All right, let's go to linebacker. Here is a interesting position group because Deloach has gained no weight in like 4 years at Florida State. Deloach has been 211 pounds since day one. I ain't mad at it. Redshirt senior, that man has gained no weight. Again, we talk about body types. Sometimes some guys just don't gain weight like that. Some guys just don't gain weight like that. Corey says probably a 3-4 in base, but the way college runs spread is going to always be 4-2-ish. You could have some. I was gonna say 3-3-ish, but not so much. I think that third backer will be your like a defensive end type hybrid. So, I'm with you, Corey. I agree with you. Back to the linebackers though. Bethune, Gant is the one. Again, this is the one where I say don't believe what you're reading here. There's no damn way, in my opinion, Gant was 200. I think Gant played last year at 190. I'm convinced Gant was not 200 pounds last year. And now you're telling me he's up to 213. He might be 205. Don't know. If Gant is 213 and Deloach is 211, Gant might give us more depth. Gant might give us more depth than we think, which I'm excited to see Brendan Gant and what he brings to the table. I'm excited to see it. Dix has always been a monster, but Dix apparently has lost some weight, which is a good thing for Stephen Dix. He's got too much muscles. The man got muscles on top of muscles. Dix don't need no more muscles. So him getting down to 227, I think that helps the depth as well. I'm interested to see how Stephen Dix bounces back this year. Does he give us some legit depth at the position? Lundy played. Remember, Lundy was almost up to 250 at one point. He dropped all the way down to 232 last year. Put on a little bit more weight. I think Lundy's going to stay around the 230 area. So that's a good weight. And we saw last year, right? That was a good weight for Lundy. Lundy had his best year of his career, I think, last year. Good weight for him. Graham being 226. Apparently, he didn't gain a lick of weight last year. But I think I like the way Grant is built. I like the way Omar Graham is built. I like the way he's kind of filled out. So I think 226 is a good weight for him. And then DeMarco Ward being 217 is interesting. I don't have a lot of expectations for DeMarco Ward. So if he's able to give you anything, that's a plus. That's a plus. So, yeah. What do y'all think about the linebacker room? Momo loves our linebackers. Is the smallest starting backer I've ever seen that FSU at. I don't think Telvin Smith was much bigger than Deloach, honestly. Did y'all see the photos of Dix? Damn it, if we could just get him to be more fluid and, well, dang, he's got those muscles. No, Omar got to be bigger than 226 compared to the Tour of Duty videos. I want to see Dix this spring. I would run a 5-1-5. 5 down linemen, 1 backer, and 5 with the way the offenses are set up, I get the 5. You almost at all points need to keep 5 DBs on the field. Hell, I don't know. That's like the first time I've seen that one. I'm not gonna lie, Anthony. So I don't know what to tell you. Dix is another one I'm surprised is in the roster. We know he ain't getting on the field. I don't know, Leon. We'll see. He was hurt last year, but we'll see. Screw it. Just go dime and run. no linebackers, 5 down linemen, 6 DBs. Hell, why not? Y'all wild. Ward might be good. He might be. I just don't have expectations, right? So we'll see. We'll see what he brings to the table. Again, I just don't have any expectations. But you're right. You might be good. No expectations from me though. And then let's go to the safety room. Dent lost a little bit of weight. Travis J is up over 200. Shaheem Brown is the big gainer here. So the crazy thing about Shaheem is I remember when they recruited him, a lot of people thought they were recruiting him to play backer for that reason. His frame and the fact that he could legitimately put on, and get up to that 220 range for backer. Well, you see it. So Shaheem's definitely going to be playing in the box. Baby. Yeah, I see. And Shaheem Brown gives some credence to the 5. Look, 515. It might not be that far fetched. I'm just saying, if Shaheem Brown's playing in the box, he's damn near de facto linebacker, right? That might not be too much of a stretch. I don't know how viable of an option it is. But Shaheem's the big gainer here, and that's the guy that I definitely think that they're gonna have down there trying to crack heads. Shaheem Brown, Duke up to 192. That's not really a big weight gain for him. Interesting to see how Duke continues to. He's gonna have to change his body because he's not a corner anymore. So he's gonna have to change his body a little bit. I want to see Duke's continued transformation there. And then Kirkland gained 10 pounds. Kirkland's an interesting prospect because, again, this is 247. Kirkland has said that they're using him as a corner, not a safety. I know he was recruited as a safety, or no, excuse me, he played safety in high school, but I believe they recruited him to play corner. I think Kirkland is going to be a corner personally. But we'll see. We'll see there. Zoe says, every year we see a defensive guy take a step back and not produce like they did the prior year. Who do we think will be our Marvin Wilson, Duke Cooper this year? Ooh. I hope nobody. Be honest with you. I hope nobody. Lundy looks smaller in tour of duty than he was last year, and he gained 10 pounds. Kirkland looks good. I want Brown in the box like Jamie. I think he's going to fill that role. So safety is the interesting position for me because we definitely need someone to step up and take Jamie's spot. Was hoping they would have moved Fentrell to safety. I think they value Fentrell too much as a lockdown corner. So we'll see what happens, though. I think there's a lot of big-time expectations on Shaheem. Getting Akeem Dent back. I know he's still rehabbing. And then what does Travis J bring you? I think Travis J is the key to the whole room. Is what does he bring to the table? Fuller told War Chant there will be more 5 down linemen. He sure did. I think he will be a corner personally. Duke weight gain was nothing but water weight. I agree. I don't think Duke's weight gain is anything to really pay attention to right here. He's going to have to work his way into that rotation. Some people have some high hopes for him. I'm a big fan of him, but he went from as a freshman being damn near lockdown to burnt chicken last year, which is crazy to me. I don't know, man. I've never been a fan of the move to safety, but some people are telling me that should be a good move for him. So we're going to see. We're going to see. Did Norvell say Duke gained like 15 pounds in tour duty? Well, then either Norvell lied or these numbers lied. Travis J is a unicorn that we have never seen to get on the field. Well, when he was on the field, he didn't play too well, Leon. But I thought he was playing out of – I like Travis J back at safety. Let me be clear. That sitting out last year threw me off. I thought Travis J was done. It's not too many times that guys get. Remember, in Travis Jay's first year, he was academically ineligible. It wasn't that big of a deal because you can slap the red shirt on him. You basically are saying it's okay. Well, to be academically ineligible again he's a 4-year junior, so as a 3-year sophomore, and you go academically ineligible, that's not a good look for Travis Jay. I thought Jay was out of here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought after going academically ineligible for the second time, he was done. The fact that he's still on the roster, I'm excited to see him, but not playing for a year. I want to see how he bounces back. This might sound weird, but I do think, to your point, when you say Travis Jay is a unicorn, and I don't know if you mean he's a unicorn in the sense that we never get to see him, or that if he's a special talent. When I say he's a unicorn, I'm going to say he's a special talent. Have you ever looked at Travis Jay and looked at the size of Travis Jay's hands? I know that might sound weird, but when we talk about unicorns and guys' physical traits and what they bring to the table, Travis Jay has all the tools to be All-American. I don't know necessarily what's holding him back, whether it's the grade, just putting it all together. But Travis Jay has all the tools. All the tools. We'll see what happens with Travis Jay. Cooper was fiery and confident his first year, and then this year seemed reserved and basically did no trash talk. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened with Coop, with Duke. I think his issue was grades last year because nothing else it was definitely grades last year. Definitely grades last year. Travis Jay is what you call a career student. Travis Jay is a special talent is what I meant. I agree with that. He is a special talent. It's just, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be able to put it all in the same basket. And Zoe said he's working on his doctorate. Hell, with the way his grades is, you better be working on getting an associate's. Talking about a doctorate. And we'll wrap it up with the corner position, at least as far as like gains and losses go. We'll wrap it up with corners. And there you see Jerry Jones is almost at 200 pounds. Which is interesting. Ronaldo Green. Well, I'll circle back on Ronaldo Green because I might have triggered some people with my take on Twitter and some other fans, and it's not a knock on Ronaldo Green. So I want to explain Ronaldo Green. So I'll circle back to Ronaldo. Greedy Vance didn't really gain or lose anything. Kevin Knowles, again, this is why I tell y'all, watch those vlogs. So if you watch those vlogs, Kevin Knowles is indeed hurt. And Kevin knows out of his own mouth. I don't know if Mike Norvell likes this. I don't know if Mike Norvell even seen or heard this, but this is out of Kevin Knowles' mouth. Kevin Knowles says he ain't going to return until about mid-season. So whatever his issue is, whatever he's rehabbing, he himself said y'all ain't going to see him till about mid-season. So, yeah, Kevin Knowles is hurt, unfortunately. That's why I say, man, those vlogs are the best inside information. All your insiders, y'all can listen to that all y'all want. Man, just watch the vlogs. And if y'all don't watch it, don't worry, I'm going to watch it. And then I'll make it look like I know what I'm talking about when I come on here and tell y'all stuff. Kevin Knowles says he won't be back till about mid-season. So we'll see what happens there. AZ didn't gain and lose any weight. Fentrell apparently gained almost 10 pounds. I didn't realize he was that small at Virginia. He doesn't look that small. And then Quindarius Jones at 200 pounds. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Let me circle back down to Ronaldo Green real quick. When I said that I would, AZ would be all ACC second team and be starting opposite of Fentrell, that wasn't a knock on Ronaldo. I want to be clear. And I've said this repeatedly. In today's game, the nickel isn't a demotion. The nickel is a de facto starter. your nickelback needs to be as good as your field and boundary. Your nickelback is a starter in today's game. So when I say I want to see AZ and Fentrell on the outside, that's just because the skill sets fit. And I think Ronaldo, he translates seamlessly to nickel. I think Ronaldo Green's skill set, he would thrive at nickel. And again, that's not a knock, that's not a downgrade, that's not a demotion. That doesn't mean I think he can't play on the outside. That just simply means I think he might best be suited there. I just want to make that clear. Your nickelback in hell. If you look at the NFL, you know, they'll go all the way to their dime package, and you're talking about guys who might be able to start. Because with the way these offenses run, 4 or 5 receiver, or even if it's 3 receivers and you got some type of receiving tight end, like you got to be able to this girl about to get choked out. But you got to be able to cover. You got to be able to cover everybody on the field. And William with the super sticker. Is that a Florida State cake? That's my first time seeing that. William. Or getting the close-up look on it anyway. But shout out to William with the $3 super sticker. And then William says, I hope Surtain can bring some real dogs at DB. We'll see. I think we got some dogs personally. I'm not sure they were being coached the best. If you want my opinion on our DBs the last couple years, I think we've had the talent. It's not so much the talent as much as it, in my opinion, the technique in which they played with. I love to see Green and Cypress on the outside and Jones and AZ locking down nickel or shifting outside the situation with Greedy first off the bench. I could definitely see Green playing the same role as Jamie had, especially because he can tackle and his coverage was solid. So that is basically all of the gains and losses. So we went position by position, player by player. You know, and that's it. That is it. I'll open up comments are always open anyway, so it's still early. Let me spike that a little bit. I got a little watered down. It's still early, so feel free. We can feel free to continue the conversation. But I mean, man, we just literally went through every position and every player that's currently on this spring team. The good news is, we got a handful of players, well, more than a handful of players that ain't even on campus yet in terms of the freshmen. Like, what does Conrad Hussey bring to the safety room? What does Edwin Joseph bring to the corners? How about Singletary in the running back room? Goldie Lawrence ain't even in the wide receiver room yet. FSU still adding another linebacker, the kid that they flipped from North Texas to the linebacker room. We added another defensive tackle. What's his name? Sampson, I think his name. I forget his name. Like KJ Sampson or something. We're adding him to that defensive tackle room. So Florida State, the early enrollees, we're adding another O-lineman in Otto, who's not on campus yet. So Florida State's adding. It's another reason why, transfers, the spring, this Blake Nicholson. Thank you, Ray Fitty. I can't even believe I forgot that. Blake Nicholson. No, I really wish he was an early enrollee. It's disappointing that he wasn't. But Blake Nicholson, another guy who's not here yet. FSU is going to be adding some good guys still to come after spring. So this roster that you just saw is not the complete roster, obviously, just from the guys that are going to come after spring in the summer. And then I don't think they're done in the portal, As I think we might have a few guys transfer out after spring. And they might look to bring a few guys in after spring. So we'll see how that goes. Nickel is damn near a hybrid. In the interview with Certain, he said he watched old film from last year and said technique was bad. I trust his words for sure. Thoughts about the tour of duty criticism crap? What criticism exactly? Because listen, bro, if you listen to the peanut gallery, you'll hear criticisms about everything, bro. What criticism exactly? And I'll address it. It would be great if Green and Cypress, AZ and Jones could be interchangeable next year between DB1, DB2. I'll ask a question. What do y'all think about where does Jerry and Jones fit into this? Because we all have high expectations of AZ. Everybody has extreme high expectations of AZ just because of the talent that he has. Everybody expects Cypress to come in and he's going to start obviously day one, right? And then you got Nickel and like Greedy Vance and some of these guys, you know, like Ronaldo Green. Everybody's real excited about to see him after having a pretty decent year last year. But nobody's talking about Jarian. You know, I've been tough on Jarian, but I've also said Jarian played very well at Jarian played well at the end of last year. So what do you guys think? What do y'all think about Jarian? Keith Sampson. Yeah, I knew something, K. Sampson or something like that, but he still got to get here. So Florida State's got to bring in some guys. That like loafing. I don't think nobody loaf. You know, here's the thing, bro. I don't know if some people think that was the first tour of dirty practice. They have been doing the tour of duty since I think. Man, when they start tour duty, I think they started tour of duty sometime in January, if I'm not mistaken. They've been doing tour of duty for at least over a month, if I'm not mistaken. Them boys tired. It's the last tour of duty. We only got to see the back end of that. We didn't get to see what they did in the first part of. I don't take any, bro. A lot of times people criticize stuff. They don't know what they're talking about. If you're talking about Tyler, the specific person that I think you're talking about, who I believe used to actually play at Florida State, and he had something to say about it on Twitter. Bro, whatever you did back in 2000, okay, cool. It ain't the same. And just because they ran it one way don't mean, I mean, you don't know. Because one of the things I heard was, in my time, they would have made us do the rep over. Well, maybe they may not make them do the rep over, but maybe they hold them accountable after practice and you do extra wind sprints or something. Like, people take a 30-second clip and then not even 30-second, hell, a 10-second clip, and we make all these yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Let's get it. People take a 10-second clip, and now we make all these assessments, and it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. Jones will move to nickel. About Keem moving slow, and you can see he was visible. There's a lot of guys who are gassed. We have to get 3 out with the numbers where they are. More if you want to add more. Definitely going to be interesting post spring. Super Harold 32 says, I'm just glad we got another kicker in the portal. We did. I don't know if he contributes, but at least will bring some competition. And I appreciate the $2 donation.
Bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Bitch, sit down.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. They've been doing tour duty for over a month. Like, them boys tired, boss. I get it. They tired. Some people fail to realize they do multiple reps. They're told not to be afraid to sell out at the beginning and be able to go on empty. Bro, y'all preaching to the choir right now. Y'all, again, we people. Here's a better question. Here's the better question. And I think this is a valid criticism. that I kind of want our head coach to reel it in. And maybe y'all might feel differently. As fans, I think we like it, but I'm gonna just go out and say it. I think Norvell runs a too wide open program. Meaning I think our guys have way too much access. Okay, I understand fans want to see the workouts, and we like seeing certain clips, and I get all of that. We run a way too wide open program, in my humble opinion. Some of those clips we don't need to see. And I get it, like they close off the first part of these practices and these workouts and give you the last 30 minutes, maybe. And I know in Mike Norvell's eyes, he's probably thinking, you're not going to get anything real out of the last 30 minutes. So that's why I give you that. Man, and also to be fair to Mike, we only got that. Again, like someone said, they've been doing tour of duty since mid-January, just about, or something like that. And we didn't get no videos this entire time. But I still think he runs a very transparent program to a point where I think at sometimes shut the media out, because it's like our media, bro. And I'm going to just keep going in. And I don't purposely go in on our beat writers, but I think they just do boneheaded stuff. Our media is so obsessed with like getting clicks and views, which I get it. It pays the bills. That's what all the media is obsessed with. But it's like they need to go through a reviewer and be like, should we post this video? We got, and too many times I feel like we're posting videos that don't do us any favors. You don't make anyone look good, when you're showing videos of your 5-star wide receiver. And while us as fans understand that guy's been grinding since January, he's tired. We understand that. Some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us do, because I even saw some Florida State fans be like, oh my God, Hakeem looks slow. And I'm like, are you serious? And while some of us more intelligent fans, some of us more, just level-headed fans understand that. A lot of people see those clips and then they just go off the deep end. And it just really makes us look, in my opinion, man, that's my biggest criticism of the beat. They just really make us look incompetent at times. I remember when Mackenzie Milton was here and they posted a video of Milton throwing a duck. I'm talking about a wobble. Now, Ja'Kai Douglas catches the ball. But I'm talking about if it wasn't the worst pass you maybe have ever seen in your life. And I'm thinking to myself, why did you post that video? Post the videos that make us look great. Even if it's not the entire truth, who cares what the truth is? The truth is what the coach, they need to know the truth. The fans just need to feel good, damn it. And we just, man, I don't know. That's just my, I guess, another little issue I have again with the way our media just runs. My point being, go to Bama's media sites, go to Georgia's media sites, and show me clips like you see from ours. Show me those. If you can find those clips from Bama, Georgia, the premier programs in the country, then I'll shut up, because I don't see those. And if I'm seeing them, well, recruits also see certain things. And while some of us think that this stuff doesn't affect recruits, man, these 17, 16-year-olds are very impressionable. Glitz and glamour is what wins them over, not the hard work and the grind. Might be unfortunate, but it's true. Why I thought they started in February. Jones is the floor and AZ is the ceiling for nickel. Green is the floor and AZ is the ceiling for boundary. And AZ just has better physical tools. Well, yeah, AZ is just the talent, bro. Right, absolutely right, Brian. Let's notice how you got AZ in every mix. Yeah, AZ is just, like you said, better physical tools than just about everybody. But neither Greens are shown to be a liability with you. They made a defensive end do a rep over because he did it wrong, and I think was the 4-star walk-on. Anderson, okay. It's only the Gator and Canes fans talking trash. No, it's not. There's Florida State fans talking trash about it too. Again, some of us are level-headed and we understand, and some of us don't know what the hell we're looking at, or they just want to complain just to complain. Most of the people trolling never played a sport. A 7-day pre-spring, neither UF nor Scum had a complete coaching staff. They can shut the hell up. They really do need better judgment on some of these clips. Might need to give some of the beat a Jimbo phone call, rip into them and kick them out of. I don't even want to go that far, Philly. Don't be rude to them, but just some of that stuff, just close it off. Just be like, nah, not today, y'all. And to his credit, again, I know he does close off plenty of practices. Again, we went the entire tour of duty without getting really any content. But then when we get the content, I think my beat need to be more responsible. Let's show some good clips. Like, let's do that. Just me, though. Just me. Can't wait to watch Chris Thompson do the strip drill on Monday. Or the water gun drill with Coach Yak. Like, bro, okay, we do it. We don't need y'all to show it. We don't need y'all to show it. Well, there's a lot of these Seminole websites and channels, and they think they have to have a video. They think they have to have a video. They think they have to have a video. I guess you're just trying to say, Jeff, that they just think they have to continue to put videos out there. And I agree with you. It was one of the things I said, like, that's why I kind of went quiet for what? It was like 3 weeks before I did anything. I don't need to make videos. I don't like to make videos just to make videos, because then it gets boring to me. I like to have stuff to actually talk about. Like how they are putting all them cameras in recruits' faces. I already talked about that. Let's get it. I don't know if you missed that or not. I addressed that, but we actually talked at the beginning of this, at the beginning of the live stream. We talked about the recruit, a little bit of recruiting, not a lot, but a little bit. And again, that's another knock I have. It's like they stand outside and wait for these recruits to leave the moor and then shove a microphone in their face and think we're going to get some kind of real valuable information out of that. Give them time to breathe. Disagree that the program is too open. If something gets posted and we look bad because guys drop balls, throw ducks, loaf, that can all mean that we'll get underestimated. I don't really care if the fans are overreactionary. I also don't really care how we look to fans, and recruits don't follow the beat like we do. I think the recruit follows more than, I honestly think recruits follow, while they might not follow the beat. So I'll agree with you that recruits don't follow like the articles and all that. No, they don't care. But we're talking about a 16, 17-year-olds that are visual. So when I say recruits see this, they don't know the story behind what they're seeing, but what they see is this play, this 10-second clip of this guy looking this way. They don't need to know the backstory. They don't care the reasoning. They're just like, that looks goofy. And that's the attention span of today's youth. There's no, you see it everywhere on social media. We don't know the backstory of half of these videos. We see what we see and we make judgments. And unfortunately, that's just the truth. So while I agree with you that, I don't think the kids follow the beat like that either. They are on social media and they do see these clips, and they don't necessarily care about the backstory of said clips. They see a clip will have a stupid headline on it, like Hakeem slacking in drills. Whether that's true or not, they don't care. And then they'll just see a bunch of trolling comments down, get a bunch of laughs off of it. While you don't think it matters, that stuff clicks in the back of their mind. Who takes McClain's reps? Do they go wide tight end, Bell, Morlock, or with a big body like Tron or Span? My question is, I don't think, did McClain have reps to take? McClain wasn't like, I don't think McClain has reps to take. How many design play calls were for McClain a game? I feel like they just put McClain. They just put McClain in there and said, get in how you fit in. If you get the ball, you get the ball. I don't know if there's anything designed for him. I don't know if he had a snap count. McClain's reps isn't what I'd be worried about. And then if anything, you just ask Kentron and Williamson to step up. Will says the internet is also always overcritical of everything. Negativity and making fun of people always gets more traction. Yeah, that's kind of my point. You said it probably better than I was trying to say it, Will. Is that, yes, I don't think the kids intentionally follow these things. But when something goes viral, even if it's as irrational as you think, it could be the most irrational thing. But when it goes viral, and if you can make it funny, no one cares about why it's the way it is. It's just ha. And like you said, it just gets traction. It just gets traction. Like I mentioned that Mackenzie Milton pass a couple years ago. That was to Ja'Kai Douglas. The ball literally goes up in the air and it's like tumbling through the air. And he catches it, but it's like, bro, why did you show this video? And it's just stuff like that. Again, ultimately, it doesn't matter. They're doing their jobs to their defense. I mean, they do their job, and they do their job the best way they see fit. I'm just saying, when I look at the premier programs around the country, I don't see the same thing. I see people trying to put their program in the best light, even if you know that Georgia's got guys dropping balls. They don't seem to show it. So I don't know. I think Norvell looks for guys who don't see a clip and allow that to have a profound effect on their opinion program. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I think most coaches look for those guys. But, bro, you can't control or deduce who's that guy just from recruiting them off the top. I mean, if that was the case, some of these guys would never be recruited to begin with. People slip through the cracks all the time. Some talent you ignore red flags with some talent. I love the idea. This is another conversation that was had on Twitter not too long ago. I love this idea that Mike Norvell purposely, the previous few years, was purposely not recruiting major talent because of character concerns or whatever the case may be. And then now all of a sudden, all the 4 and 5 stars that are in the mix for now, none of them have character concerns, which I'm sure they do. It's just something that, for whatever reason, just this narrative that tries to get pushed out there. Oh, we purposely was recruiting the 3 stars the few couple years because we were trying to change the culture. But now we're going to recruit all these. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest. Mike Norvell's no different. And when I say no different, yes, you recruit a certain caliber of kid. Absolutely. But as a coach, you also think his talent's too good and I can change said kid or guide him in the right direction. Every coach has looked at somebody, looked at a kid, looked at a young man and said, he might not have his head on right now, but I can get him in here and we can send him down the right path. Tron, and Williamson can replace McClain's contributions themselves. Adam Bell, and I have 0 worries. 17 catches, 206 yards, 3 TDs for the league. I feel like he was on the field enough, but there might be better guys now to eat in that role. I definitely think there would be better guys. And then Chad says I agree with you, truth be told. So Chad agrees with truth be told. So yeah, man, that's kind of my little rant on the beat, but who cares what I think about for the beat writers, right? They're doing their job. They make money covering the team. I don't. I just get on YouTube and talk. So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just a light-skinned dude on YouTube. I'm nobody. I just give a bunch of opinions. So it really doesn't matter I do think Norvell has a high standard for character. Who's the last FSU player that got in trouble? Our guys getting their highest grades ever? It's a good question. Who's the last player at Florida State that got in trouble? But I still think that goes hand in hand. Because I can make a case, or I can make an argument. FSU wasn't really in a position to recruit any of those character concern kids, because usually those character kids are Dalvin Cook. And we all know Dalvin Cook had a rougher childhood, and he was a saint while he was at FSU, at least from what we know publicly. I don't know what Dalvin Cook did in his off time, but from what we know, Dalvin Cook not get in any trouble while he was at Florida State, but the stuff he did in high school followed him all the way to the NFL. I guess the point I'm making is Mike's not really been in a position to have to recruit those kids, number one. Number two, now he might be. Does he still keep that same high standard? Lester is a guy that everybody in this chat wants. Lester is a guy that there's not one person in this chat that would say we don't want Lester. What if some character concerns pop up with Lester? Does Mike Norvell say I don't want him? Let's be honest now. Would Mike say I'm pulling my offer? I don't want Lester because he got in some trouble in high school or whatever the case. Or would Mike Norvell say talent's too elite? Yeah, he's got some concerns, but I can coach him. I can guide him. I can mentor him. We can change him. That's my point. We pretend like he was purposely just focusing on certain players, and that's half true. You know what the other half true is? He just wasn't in a position to recruit some of those elite players with those character concerns. And now that he may be, does he make those same decisions? I would argue no, but that's just my opinion. Good or bad video that gets posted at the end of the day, what happens during the season? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Jameis Winston, I think. No, I think Tamarion Terry got in trouble after. I saw somebody mention Terry, but he got in trouble after he left Florida State, or at least after he was, gone. So, yeah, I don't know the last player that got in trouble. DeAndre Francois might have been the last player that got in trouble that I can think of now that I think about it. Remember, Willie kicked him off the team for a lie, by the way. But nonetheless, he kicked him off the team. I think that's the last guy I can think about. Donta Lucas, who he didn't get any off-field problems, but he was kind of known to be kind of a head case. These are just some of the guys I'm thinking. Paul, I like how you're honest regardless of being an FSU fan. Them Kane podcasters are more delusional than the regular fans. Bro, I keep it honest. I think that's what honestly, I think that's why more Florida State fans don't fool with me. Because I can tell you Mike Norvell's been a great coach, or also criticize, or not criticize, but put into perspective the way he's been recruiting. And that I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, he's purposely has not recruited low character kids. I don't think he's been in a position to recruit said low character kids. And now that he is, I'm interested to see if he still makes those decisions. That's just where I'm at with it, right? Y'all know Jerg. Jerg be on this channel with me. He come in, and Jerg told me that I'm too. What was his words? He told me basically like I'm too reasonable for the average fan, and that's what puts me off to some of these fans. Some fans, like they say, people say you want real people, but what people really want is for you to tell them what they want to hear. Most fans want me to come on here and tell you that it's all raises and lollipops and sunshine and gumdrops and all that crap. And I just tell both sides of the story. But I appreciate that comment, man. I just try to be honest how I see things. Did he get in trouble? A female at a bar? I don't remember that. You could be right, though, Jackson. Character definitely matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm also saying character can also change, though. And kids can be taught, changed, mentored, grow up. All those things matter. The big difference also is Mike develops relationships with players and staff. Jimbo was just a screamer, and Willie was cool. I think Taggart cut somebody because DeAndre. We've dodged some troublemakers. Griffiths got in trouble at Jackson State for like beating up his girlfriend, right? So we did dodge that one. And then Mortimer, we ended up dodging him. You're absolutely right with that one, Tyler. I don't think the character guys are going to be takes for Novell, just like 4 or 5-star guys who want huge NIL. I think Novell is a transfer, and the standard is. I think it's easier said than done, Briley. And like I guess we can agree to disagree. Again, I threw out Leicester. Everybody wants Leicester, and Florida State seems to be the favorite for Leicester. If something comes out about Leicester, and as long as it's not, damn it, murder or something in that category, or the R word, right? We won't say that word. But if just some stuff comes out, like what was alleged to happen with Jaleel Skinner. Remember, I guess he showed up drunk or got drunk or something like that on a visit. Something similar happens with Leicester. Is all of a sudden now they're going to just drop him, or is that a conversation you have? If you build the relationships that they say you build, I mean, are we just cutting kids at the drop of a dime, or do we have a conversation? I guess that's just where we differ. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's as black as white as some of us are trying to make it appear. Smoking dope and domestic issues with his girlfriend. That's what Francois. No, someone did it. I can't remember. He knows Ball delusional about the Canes, though. Who knows Ball and delusional about the Canes? Who we talking about? Francois got cut by Willie Taggart. The domestic issue with his girlfriend was a lie by the girlfriend. That came out as fact. I think he smoked weed, but at this point, are we still demonizing weed? I mean, maybe we are. I don't know. I don't know why they even still test players for weed if they still do. I think it's a joke. You want to feed these athletes with all these opioids and these pills for pain. Just let them smoke. That's just me, though. Cook was lied on. That was handled before the season. Independent witness confirmed he had nothing to do with the altercation. I guess something close to this during Mike's regime is the DB that transferred to Louisville and got more. Yeah, but no, I won't put that on. Look, Brownlee wasn't a great teammate. Okay, Brownlee was being selfish, but I won't call Brownlee a bad kid. So I won't put him in. I won't say he had bad character concerns. He just was selfish, man. But yeah, to your point, that's probably the only thing that's happened under Mike's watch is the Jarvis Brownlee situation, right? It's medically legal in Florida too, right? I don't know why they still test for it. It's better for you than popping a bunch of pills, but that conversation is just now starting to happen. 5 years ago, no one wanted to have the conversation of opioids and how terrible it is for you, and that smoking weed is actually better for you than popping a bunch of pills. And now people are just now starting to open up to it. But weed's been demonized for so long, it's just breaking that indoctrination, basically, that weed is so bad. Hell, this right here is worse for you than weed ever probably will be. And I'm not even a smoker, obviously. Right. Brownlee just wanted some money. I won't call him a bad dude. I'll call him selfish. And the fact that he just wanted the money, if Brownlee would have came in here and bought. I wonder what Brownlee's thinking, since we're talking about Brownlee. Imagine if now, granted, the way he played at Louisville probably says he wouldn't have balled last year. But let's just, for conversation's sake, let's just say Brownlee would have balled last year. And with battle's end, Brownlee would have been getting his money. Now, I don't know how much money he's getting over there in Louisville, because we damn sure know he didn't declare for the draft. And I don't know how much money he getting over Louisville, but that man could have stuck with Battles in. I see. This is why you don't go chasing the bag. Let the bag chase you. But then again, he might be getting a nice bag over there at Louisville. I don't know what he getting. I don't know what he getting. Keziah, Hill, Campbell. Who has a better spring? And Keziah. I mean, it's just workouts. But if I'm a betting man, Keziah is the guy that I am most excited to see. I'm excited to watch Hill too. And we'll see what Campbell brings. But Holmes looks good. What was the Brown situation? Brownlee, just, he sat out spring, basically. He was like the first. Brownlee was essentially the first NIL holdout before Jaden Rashada. Wanted to get some money and essentially just left the team because of it. Philly says, yep, but too much money to be made with alcohol and cigarettes for the government to admit that. Absolutely. Brownlee overall seems like a good kid / teammate. I think the biggest mistake was taking it to social media. Mismanagement of emotions. Off topic, being an idiot, Tyler. We were talking about this in our chat earlier. For a young man that has his father in his life, Morant needs some guidance. John Morant needs some damn guidance in his life. I don't understand it. What's crazy is I've seen millions of John Morants. I went to school with a boy, won't say his name. I went to school with a white boy who parents had money. Now, I think his parents were split up, but dad had money and mom had money. Hell, he was in a lower grade than me and my homeboy, and he already had a car, but he was so infatuated with Lil Wayne. When I was in high school, that was Lil Wayne was really starting to be the GOAT. And he was so infatuated with that crap. Fast forward to now, the guy's been like to prison multiple times. And it's like, oh, well, he real because he did that. Yeah, but he came from a lifestyle where he didn't have to do any of that. He chose to do that stuff. That stuff don't make you real to me. Most people in that lifestyle are there by situation. And John Morant has $200 million to his name. And you on IG flashing pistols. And I get it, like you in Memphis, but come on, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on with Ja. He just needs some damn guidance. I think Holmes too, but I think Campbell is going to make a statement. I thought Brownlee said he was going to the league, man. What league? XFL? XFL? Probably he might go to XFL. Hell, might be the best corner in the XFL. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I'm going like 3 months without drinking. I feel like stress alcohol combination is not good. It's not good for you. Luckily, I'm not stressed. And this is actually the first drink I've had in about 3 weeks. You said 3 months. I think the last time I had I had a glass of wine a week ago, but that was just one glass. This is the last time I think I'm drinking liquor in about 3 weeks. I've cut back on my alcohol consumption as well. Should FSU tell the ACC and ESPN that they have time served since they only get half of what FSU actually produced for the conference over the years? Probably comes out to 5 years remaining. I heard somewhere that Florida State, the buyout ain't as much as some people think. I think I've heard two different stories. I've heard some numbers that it's as much as 500 mil. And as low as 120 something mil. And that just goes to show you with this buyout thing. Like I don't think anybody really knows how much it is. That's why I said in a couple years, man, we're really gonna know. What do you think about Jake Paul losing last week? Nothing. I didn't watch it. I don't. No knock on Jake Paul. It's crazy how big those events have become. I just don't understand it though. I don't understand why people are so infatuated with. I'm gonna say fake boxing. I'm not saying those guys aren't really getting in there throwing punches, but why amateur? I'll call it amateur. Why are people so infatuated with amateur boxing? Granted, Tommy Fury comes from a lineage. So if there's one thing about Fury is he's actually a real boxer. So it's no shock to me that he won. But I just never understood why we're so infatuated with amateur boxing, watching a YouTube guy box MMA guys. But the real fights, nobody wants to watch the real fights. Nobody wants to watch real boxers go at it. I don't understand that logic. I don't understand that logic. So I didn't watch the Paul fight personally. I had no interest in it. If it was 120, we would have been gone. The buyout for the ACC is 120K. I think you mean M's. There's no way it's 120K because Mike can pay for the buyout by his damn self, and he can pay the buyout for the TV rights by his damn self, Jay. I think you mean M's, not K. Reported that is 120 to get out of the ACC. The buyout to leave the ACC is 120. The 500 mil adds in the projected cost of voiding the grant of rights. So my question is, in totality, is it 120 plus the 500 mil in totality? Do you pay one or the other? Would the 500 cover the 120? That's kind of my question with the numbers. That's my question. Yeah, I know you meant millions. That's the case. We can pitch in together, man, and we can buy ACC out. We can buy them boys out tonight. If it's only 120K. Jeff says, hope these next 2 seasons is the last 2 seasons we stay in this crappy conference. I hope there's an announcement made by 25 or 26 to leave and we're somewhere else by. I think that's about 25 might be a little early, but 26, 27 is, I think, where you're going to get some real clarity on the future of Florida State, Jeff. But thanks for the $10 dono as well.
My name is Jeff.
FSU would have to give the ACC all of their TV money till 2030. So then if what you're saying is true, Vontae, then yeah, to leave the ACC would be the buyout plus the 500 mil, right? It's the grant of rights. Yeah, it is. That's a beast. Yeah, if it's 120K, yeah, they'll leave this mug tonight. They're supposedly trying to do some legal jiu-jitsu to get the grant of rights down. But either way, I think they're gone before 2030. The amount on the grant of rights has to be negotiated. That's why it's projected. Got you. But it's on top of the 120. Makes sense. Okay. Enlighten me on these rumors, Tyler, because I'm not aware. The only thing I know about the Big 12 is the guys that have joined. Is something else going on? I really haven't been paying attention to a lot of this stuff. So what are the Big 12 rumors? I haven't heard this. And if I have, I might have let it go in one ear and out the other. Utah, Arizona State, and Colorado to the Big 12. So it means Colorado's going back home. Man, the Pac-12 is the Pac-12 really like gone? Because if that happens, the Pac-12 is dead for real, for real. So if what you're saying happens, Tyler, or not necessarily what you're saying, but the rumors, I'll rephrase it. If the rumors, let's say that happens, then the Pac-12. Remember we talked about the ACC absorbing some of the Pac-12. I think that almost seems like a foregone conclusion, or am I off base with that assumption? I kind of like Colorado going back to the Big 12. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, you're talking about, other than Utah, 3 bottom tier Pac-12 teams going to the Big 12. I'm not sure they really add anything. Now we'll see if Dion elevates Colorado. He's elevated them in terms of name or in terms of eyes, but we'll see if he actually brings a quality product to the field. Utah's definitely the best of the group, but I don't know, man. Bro, I'm gonna knock out some games here. Probably not tonight because I'm about to watch this fight. But I'll knock out some games for probably tomorrow and post them for the week. They really did. Polk, what are your expectations this season? ACC championships? As of right now, that's my take. ACC championship appearance is the floor. Anything less should be considered a disappointment. The Pac-12 is negotiating a new media rights deal. It's down to them going. I heard about the Apple thing. I definitely heard about that. I thought they were almost done negotiating. I thought the Pac-12 had figured it out. Maybe they didn't. Yes, the Pac-12 is toast. They're going all streaming on a short-term contract and dealing with Amazon and Apple TV. Yeah, I don't know why. It makes sense why the teams want to be out of there. Why is that why? Wow. San Diego State. Colorado's the bigger name, though, is San Diego State. The Pac-12 can't get a TV deal, which is really crazy. Well, it makes sense. It makes sense once USC leaves. Yeah, it makes sense. Once you lose LA, you're talking about Utah, bro. Washington, which is a decent. Seattle market's decent, but just talk about the population of those places. Once you lost Los Angeles, it doesn't really shock me that they can't get a TV deal, to be honest with you. Because what else do you? I think, yeah. What else do you have? You don't have nothing else. Oh yeah, Briley just hit the nail on the head. There you go. Once you lost the LA market, yeah, I don't. It doesn't shock me that you can't get a TV deal, because what are you selling at this point? What view? Where's your highest demo at? Where's your demographic at? Where's the highest population count at with the remaining schools you have? Maybe Stanford, because that's the Bay Area, maybe. Am I off base there by thinking Stanford's might be the premier? Like, seriously, Stanford might be the team in that conference now, if we're just talking about demographic wise. Again, or Washington. I think it's got to be maybe, Seattle area. It's got to be one of those two. It's got to be either like Stanford or Washington. So, yeah, the Pac-12's toast. UCLA and USC might have just killed that whole thing. Oregon to the ACC. If that means we can leave the ACC sooner, I'm with it. If that happens, great for FSU. We're out of here so fast. Wondering what happens to Oregon. Something will get worked out within the next few years. I think the length of the contract is also a holdup. Teams like Washington and Oregon definitely don't want 10 years. They want to be in the big if they miss the bus this time around. From what I heard, the Big Ten doesn't have any interest in Oregon. I think the next from the Pac-12, I think it's Stanford. That's the school they want. So again, I get. That's why I said I think Stanford's the big fish remaining in the Pac-12 by default. And and it's not a big enough fish to keep the other schools around, I don't think. Or to keep the conference alive, I should say. Say that. If the ACC absorbs the Pac-12, the conference has to be renamed. If the ACC absorbs the Pac-12, doesn't that void the grant of rights? Pac-12 implosion will force the Big and SEC to make decisions in further expansion. If they pass, then we got to root for the Big 12 to get stronger, so our bottom teams have landing spots, and we'll move into 2.5 conference Power 5. So the only thing that I'm gonna disagree with what you say, Briley, and it's just maybe the wording, and I could be wrong, you could be right. When you say force, I don't think the Pac-12 forces the Big or the SEC to do a damn thing. They have positioned themselves, and this is my opinion, right? I think the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC have positioned themselves. I don't think the Pac-12's implosion will force them to do nothing. They're going to expand as they see fit. Those two conferences will have their pick of the teams that they say fit what they want to do. But when you say force, to me, it feels like you're saying they're going to have to choose what teams to take. And I'm thinking they don't have to choose to take. If the Big 10 and SEC don't want to take any teams, they're not going to take any teams, regardless of the Pac-12's implosion. They're going to take the teams that fit them. So I'm not so sure. When you say force, I agree with that. And maybe I'm just thinking too deep in that. But I'm not so sure they'll be forced to do anything. I think what you have to hope for is that the Big 12 maybe picks up a little bit of the slack. If the Pac-12 implodes, just because I think, like you said, if the ACC implode, some of the lower schools in ACC will, like you said, will need some landing spots. And I think that's for the Big 12. But I don't know. I don't know if the Big 10 or the SEC are going to be forced to do a damn thing. And you might get a situation where a conference like the Mountain West just replaces the Pac-12. So, in terms of it'd be, just I think, Mountain West might absorb a couple teams. Maybe the a.a.a. What's it called? The All-American Conference. Maybe that gets a little stronger. Maybe something like that, That's just kind of how I'm looking at it. Oregon, Washington, Cal to the Big 10 is the latest I've heard. But the Bay Area don't watch college ball. Even their pro teams moved away from San Fran and Oakland. Yeah. The Big wants Notre Dame and the Florida market. Do you think two major conferences stick together long term? Like 20-plus teams seems fragile. Like having 20-plus teams seems fragile. 20-plus teams seems extremely hard to manage. I agree with you there. While I think we do end up with the two mega conferences, I almost feel like those two mega they're going to have to be broken down into divisions, but I think maybe even like those divisions get commissioners. You know what I mean? Like when you say seems fragile, I agree with that. Like I think that's just hard to manage, but that seems to be where we're going. It seems that we seem to be going towards the Big 10 and the SEC. And like Claude said, college NFL, like AFC, NFC type deal. Only difference is, unlike the NFL where all the owners are under one banner, which is the NFL, these schools and these presidents aren't quite under the same thing. I don't know how you manage it, but people smarter than me, I'm assuming, will figure it out. Who would you consider a bottom dweller in both of those conferences? I'm just curious, Philly. Before I answer your question, because honestly, I don't think they get rid of anybody. But who do you consider bottom dwellers? Because, for instance, if you say in the Big Ten, a bottom dweller is Northwestern. Well, Northwestern's not going anywhere because academically they're so high. Same thing in the SEC. Vanderbilt's not going anywhere because academically they're so prestigious. So their bottom dwellers, man, ain't going anywhere. I don't disagree, Tyler. That's what I'm saying. Like, I almost feel like you'd have your major conferences, and then you have to have a commissioner for each division. And then how do you even manage all of that? Cal, Oregon, Washington have to go somewhere if the Pac-12 is gone. The Big and the SEC will have to grab what they want or pass, but it forces them to make a decision. If FSU leaves us, I would personally blame. What you gonna blame me for? Blame Mike Alford, bro. I ain't doing nothing. Do you think we at least land top 12 class? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. We've talked about that before, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think the NCAA as a whole is slowly being phased out. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if at some point college just becomes semi-pro. I mean, that's almost what it is right now. I mean, that's kind of the trend we're on. Like, the NCAA has almost become a joke at this point. I don't know what the future holds, man, but I almost feel like it has to change, right? Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe each conference okay, so I don't know. Let's just kind of go off the top of the dome here. Let's say you got let's go to SEC. Let's say you got the SEC. Right now you have the SEC, East and West. Well, maybe you, depending on the teams you add, you do a SEC. So maybe you got 4 divisions in the SEC and Big Ten now. And what you do is you do a playoff in conference before you even get to the major playoff. So maybe you don't necessarily have to have a bunch of an expanded playoff like the NFL. Maybe you just simply that you got 4 divisions, have a 4-team playoff in each conference, which essentially becomes what? An 8-team playoff, and the winner of each conference plays for the Natty. Because ultimately you're going to be cutting out. I feel like you're going to be cutting out the smaller conferences anyway. But I don't know. SEC Big 12, Big 10. SEC Big 12, Big 10. And we don't want any coast-to-coast ACC pack merger. That just prolongs the misery. I hadn't heard anything from the NCAA until Miami does Miami things. Facts. I could actually love that. The regular season would mean so much. Will Indy and the Detroit eventually host a college football semis in 10 years? I never thought about that. I think college football will go to Vegas and all those places. I don't know too much about Detroit just because it's Detroit. Sorry. And usually when they pick the venues for these events, you're going to pick high tourists. That's why Miami, Vegas, LA, Atlanta, places where they're going to make money. I don't know if anybody's traveling to Detroit. You feel me? No knock on Detroit for anybody that's from Detroit. I'm just being honest. But yeah, guys, that's about all we got tonight. We done 240, and we're about 20 minutes from the event starting. Oh, wait a minute. Got to do this one before we head out. $5 dono from my man Jeff says, what do you think they'll go to? Maybe a 32 teams conference? Are you separated by division like the NFL? What do you do? Again, yeah, I almost feel like if you do the mega conferences, then you're going to have to split these things up into separate divisions. just for logistics, just for all of that stuff. Because, yeah, I'm not sure you might have out of, you know how in like before the ACC changed format, they would rotate like a coastal competition every year. So you would have I bet you would rotate between Georgia Tech and all these other coastal teams. I think you'll do something similar, but for the most part, I think your divisions will be split regionally. So while the Big Ten is coast to coast, I think they'll keep the divisions regional. This way, it limits the travel on some of these teams. I mean, that's really the only way I can really think of it. The bigs still want to flex their muscle and a regional site for their reps. You were just about to hop on. Oh yeah, bro, I'm about to get off. Been on here 3 hours already. Where you was 3 hours ago? See how Negroes do? Where you was 3 hours ago. But thank you, Jeff. Thank you for the $5 donation.
My name is Jeff.
But that's all I got tonight, guys, man. As always, man, thank y'all for tuning in. It feels good to do this. I ain't done this on a Saturday in a minute, so this one felt pretty good. Felt good to be back out here on a Saturday. And as spring ball picks up next week, I think expect a lot of content to drop in the next. As long as spring going, you're going to get something from me just about every week. So y'all can look forward to all of that, man. But as always, guys, hit that like button on the way out. If you did not hit it on the way in, appreciate everybody who kicked it with me on this Saturday night. Go check out this John Jones fight. Stay classy, Knowles. It's your boy Polk over here on 863 Seminole TV. And we got you. Go Knowles. Like, subscribe, share the video. And I will catch y'all next week.